available. And a good source is a Swiss media channel, KLA.TV. Yeah? They are working for free. They are 100% independent. Yeah? It's a Christian community, no? Just normal. I know the people, and they have 4,000 volunteers all over the world. And they are translating speeches and other things into now more than 80 languages. So they're doing a good job. And so some of my most important interviews are translated into even into Swedish, into Danish, and English, of course. You can see a lot. So if you give in my name or just /Heiko Schöning, you will find these things, and even in other languages. Yeah, and I'm free to give my email address. So if you can support by anything, so you're free to help or free to ask. If you think no, there's something there's a fault, something, ask, and perhaps there is something and we could do better. Even the books, we have. It's now the attack on the microbiome. Now it's eighth edition, and some very minor things, we just try to make it better and better. But nobody said, so it doesn't work. So all the things, the crimes in the world, now to start with the second part, it's not new. It's done before. And I can tell you, if you don't know this man, John J. McCloy, if you don't know exactly about his history and about his track record, you do not know the history of the world of the last 100 years. If you don't know this man. And this applies especially to the United States, to Germany, and into Europe. Just to show you this. So, who knows exactly about this man? Anybody? One knocking? Yeah, one person. About this. And just to give you a very small update. His mother was a hairdresser of the Rockefeller family in the United States. So he was poor. And he became the tennis coach of the 5 ultra-rich Rockefeller boys, of Nelson Rockefeller and David Rockefeller, and so on. He was a world-class tennis player, and even a sailing teacher. He was. And then they sponsored him a Harvard law study, and he became like the right hand in law of the Rockefeller of the Rockefeller families, an advocate, and he became the legal advisor to the IG Farben. These are the conglomerate of mainly German industry who committed all the atrocities in the Second World War, financing Hitler and so on. Well, and he was sent to Milano, to Milan in Italy in the 1920s, just after Mussolini established a fascist regime. And he was financing the fascist regime, on behalf of his masters in Italy. He was an agent. He was there in Italy to build up the fascist Italy. And then he moved to Paris in 1930 with his wife. She was American-German. Zinse, called, maid named Zinse. And they moved next day after the wedding to Paris. And another couple very close to them in Paris, friends of them, were Jean Monnet. You know Jean Monnet? He's the father of the European Communion. Yeah? Hello. And they were very close all the time, especially in the Second World War. Yeah? Well, and what he did in Paris and in Europe, he was building up the fascist regime in Germany with the Nazis. Oops, yeah. He was meeting Göring, Hitler, Speer, Goebbels. And it happens, 1936, there was a Olympic Games in Berlin, and he was sitting next to Göring in Hitler's lobby, watching the games, yeah, next to them. Well, this is recorded, and you can read even this on Wikipedia. And you say, what? Yes, but this episode in Mailand, yeah, perhaps you will not read about it, yeah. And then, in 1940, he became the Vice Minister of War, the Assistant Secretary of the Department of War, of the United States. Yeah? This time it was called not Department of Defense, of War. And guess what? Today they changed the name again. Yeah? Department of War. And the secretary, yeah, of the Department of War, he was an old man. He was like Joe Biden. Yeah? Yeah? So, and he was a fit man, he was a great manager, yeah? Yeah? And he managed the Second World War. It was him. Yeah? And guess what? He built, yeah? He built a big building. Yeah? Like other people did. And you know this. It was called, this building was called McCloy's Folly. Yeah? So McCloy's small hut, they called it these days in the Second World War. And you know what the building is? It's a Pentagon. McCloy's Folly. It's a Pentagon. He built the Pentagon. Yeah? And in 1963, he was responsible for using chemical weapons in the Second World War. What? You think? There was no usage of chemical weapons in the Second World War. Wrong. The United States did it and put it into the front in Italy, at Bari. Yeah? And these weapons were produced by his father-in-law, by Mr. Friedrich Zinse. Friedrich Zinse, yeah? The father of his wife. Guess what? And he blocked the bombing to the railways of the concentration camps in Auschwitz. Personally. He blocked it personally. And you can read it up. Yeah? Wow. Because next to Auschwitz, very next door, were the big factory of the IG Farben. And he was a lawyer to IG Farben. Hello? Yeah? It cost about 100,000 lives. He blocked it. And then he was involved, of course, in the decision to bomb Hiroshima. Yeah? That's another thing. You can see it in there's a scientific book, what we have it about. Yeah? And after this, he became, yeah, the president of the World Bank. Hello? And as I told you before, corruption, how they're doing this, even the corona, the World Bank is giving this. Yeah? And one of the prime minister of a country said this on record. Yeah? The only who said it openly in the public was the president of Belarus, of the right Russian country. He said, oh, they offered me so, yeah, he said Brown, they offered me $1 billion to implement here the COVID-19 regime, yeah, to tyrann my people. And I said, yet, no. No? And then he said, After a few weeks, they came better. They came again and offered me 2 billion. Yeah? And I said, niet. Yeah? That's the way. Well, and this is the World Bank, and they're still active. And he was the president. And then, in 1949, he came back to Germany, and he was the highest military. He was a military governor of Germany, of West Germany. Yeah? And the highest civilian. He was like the king of Germany. Hello? He was a high commissioner of Germany. And it happened then that the Federal Republic of Germany, where I was born, here, was created in 49. And guess who became chancellor? Yeah? His very close relative, Konrad Adenauer, for the next 15 years. And it happened, yeah, may I? And it happened, yeah, was good. And it happened that Konrad Adenauer married a Miss Zinser. And Konrad, and he himself, yeah, and I displayed this so much. This is Konrad Adenauer. Perhaps some of those saw this face. He was the first chancellor of Germany for the next around 15 years. He married, yeah, this woman, Miss Zinser, and John J. McCloy, yeah, he married a Zinser too, the cousin. So, yeah, so these two, yeah, the grandfathers were brothers, close family. And then he said, okay, Konrad Adenauer, very old man, yeah, became chancellor and managed this. Hello. Yeah, and all the old Nazis, what happened to them? You heard about, oh, there we have Nuremberg trials, yeah? Nuremberg trials, great. Nuremberg 1.0, we need a 2.0. No, we do not need it, because what they did is a very few number was sent to prison, 20 years for all the atrocities, or sent to death by hanging. But what he did is, how you saw, he set them free after 2-3 years. You don't know? This is exactly what he did. So the bosses of IG Farben, he set free. And from the weapons industry, like Alfred Krupp, yeah, Krupp cannons, very close to Swedish industry. I don't want to name the name here. Yeah, that's him all the time. Yeah, this is what he did. Yeah, and one of the family companies was Merck. You know, MSD, Merck Sharp and Dome. That's family, because the brother of his wife, yeah, John Zinser, he was the vice president of Merck and was a director of JP Morgan, the world's largest bank. Yeah? Hello? Yeah? They joined. So, have you just a glimpse of, oh, what? This means the old Nazis are still in charge? What about Europe? What about, yes. Yeah? Just to give you a small outlook, what happened. Yeah? And this is worldwide, so it's a show. It's a show what you got. And the newest show is now movie style. It's Hollywood. Yeah? Now, Mr. Donald Trump put this on the website, on the White House. This is on the website in the White House. They put it on the movie style, lab leak. Yeah? And they said, oh, we made a Congress, independent Congress investigation, and we found out it was not from a wet market in Wuhan. it was from the biolab. Yeah? And the CIA said, yes, 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 it was from biolab. And they are pointing now the finger to China. Yeah? In a movie style, if you see this. Yeah? It's all going into direction to China. This is what they're doing now. Yeah? And the most important thing is, yeah, they are controlling the game. Yeah? Controlling the narrative. And another good book is Rockefeller Controlling the Game by a Swede, by Dr. Jakob Nollengard. Yeah? You may know this. It's about controlling the game. Yeah? So when they have their, when they have this COVID-19 narrative with this great reset, with this health dictatorship, you've got two options. Either it works or it works not. And got what? Yeah? They tried it from 2020 to 2022 in a very brutal way. Yeah? Not in Sweden, the only country in, yeah? But in Germany, very brutal. Australia, New Zealand, even more brutal. Yeah? They tried it. But we, yeah, with the resistance, yeah, we overcome. So, no mandatory vaccination. No? And now they are shameful, try to hide it. Yeah, but they did. So, such a big crime project could go in a good direction or in a bad direction. So, it could work or not. So what you're doing is, like in the military, you have a plan for plan B, isn't it? And you know, okay, when it's going wrong and we have all the dead bodies, yeah? Yeah? By vaccination, yeah? You've got, may I have a vaccinere? And a Swedish one? Yeah. Yeah? You see? Yep. Yeah? Vaccinated death, yeah? Even in Swedish. If you have these, yeah? To show this, oh, yeah? The vaccines are deadly, yeah? You have all the rage of the people. And how to cope with this? You can't stop it in the next years. Yeah? You can't stop it. What you try to do is to bring it into another direction. Yeah? Not to the Western governments, yeah? To a foreign government. And what they are doing with Lab Leak and all the others, yeah? They are creating a new false narrative, yeah? Blaming China. That's a new game. Blaming China and saying China is responsible for a bioweapon. Here, the Communist Party of China, the CCP, is responsible. Yeah? And in lots of detail, I was able to say and to lay down in an interview, and was broadcasted yesterday. Yeah, on the platform auf1.tv. Yeah, so the best independent platform in the English, in the German-spoken countries. So it's now out, 80 minutes. Yeah, and I will show you something about to show all this. Yeah, and who it was, yeah, to bring the narrative against China, guess what? They did it from the very first moment. They did it from January 2020 on. Yeah? They created this narrative blaming China. This was plan B. Yeah? Of course, plan A, they said, oh, was natural, was a wet market, yeah? SARS-CoV-2 is a killer virus, yeah? That's the plan A. And plan A failed. And now, they're shifting to say, oh, yeah, well, it's a bioweapon from China. And they planned, yeah, put into our resistance movement, into the Enlightenment movement, they put people into this, yeah, spies, to say, hey, it's a bioweapon, yeah, we need to blame China. And I said who it was, yeah. And one of the people was Stephen Hadfield. I have in my first book, Stephen Hadfield. So just to give you one name, and I will try now to show you some here on this interview.
Wie ein Fragezeichen. Der erste Sachverhalt.
Oder machen wir
Ungekürzt auf Sendung. Es hat eine Übersterblichkeit im Leben weltweit zu fast 10%. Das ist ja eine Reduzierung der Weltbevölkerung. Da muss man sich fragen, wer denkt sich sowas aus?
So I said there, so what happened with COVID-19 was a reduction of the world population. Yeah? In some countries, about 10%. 10% less babies because they're dying in the womb. Yeah? 10% dead people by vaccination and all the other things what came out. Yeah? And the question is, who did this? Yeah?
Der Sündenbock für den Westen ist China.
That's the point. And who to blame to? It's China. Yeah?
Und wird weiter China sein. China
And they build
nämlich an Covid alleine schuld sein.
So China is the only perpetrator, yeah? Not the governments. So war, like Donald Trump said, yeah? So here, Operation Warp Speed was good and all the vaccination was good. They saying in the same report, yeah? And to blame China only. This is what they did, yeah? Okay, so
aufgebaut werden kann. Die Impfstoffe, die jetzt wahrscheinlich besser als Therapeutika charakterisiert werden, haben zweifellos Millionen von Leben gerettet, indem sie die Wahrscheinlichkeit schwerer Erkrankungen und Todesfälle verringerten. Das steht jetzt in dieser Veröffentlichung prominent verlinkt erneut dabei. Das wurde ja bis dato auch nicht von der US-Regierung zurückgenommen.
Yeah, so just we talk about the publications on the website on the White House. So you can go to whitehouse.gov, yeah, and you will see all this with LabLink. And you see here, yeah, I had all the books with me, yeah, to show evidence what is inside. And I will skip to
sein können. Was ich heute mitgebracht habe, ist eine Premiere. Ist etwas, was halt so noch nie dargestellt worden ist. Und das Ganze möchte ich einmal herleiten, dass man versteht, wer wie eigentlich agiert hat, wie Covid abgelaufen ist und wer wie mitgespielt hat. Also ich kann nur sagen, es wird spannend und gerade dieser Teil sollte international verteilt werden.
So I just said, okay, now I showed the evidence about people and what they did, and I said, well, please, I want to spread it out internationally, yeah, especially this part, and I will do it first time in English, a little bit improved, but yeah, thanks. I will try to translate, because after this, a graphic was shown how I said steps how they did it, and I will try to synchronize this, yeah, to do it.
Jetzt Ihren Ausführungen lauschen. Wir haben im Vorgespräch gesagt, wenn Sie jetzt an die Darstellung gehen, was Sie angekündigt haben, dass wir das visuell unterstützen werden, also um die Übersicht zu behalten. Sie haben es mir nur ganz grob skizziert, ich bin ausgestiegen und jetzt bin ich gespannt, was tatsächlich kommt.
So, that's it. I will take out the voiceover, and this is the graphic. That's the whole story. Yeah, what I will show. You see here COVID-19. Yeah, like a cube. It's an action. So in my first book and then the second book, I made a graphic system to explain the things. Yeah, and these graphics, like an action. Yeah? COVID-19 is an action. Yeah, is like a world war is an action. Yeah, is displayed like here in a cube. And you see here, I've got cards, yeah, to show people. Yeah? And this is Dr. Fauci, the virus, yeah, to have them. And in round things, I have institutions like the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, yeah? Secret Service of the United States. So these are the three elements I displayed in the book, or in both books. Yeah? So people, institutions, actions. These three things. Yeah? In the graphics. Yeah? To make it simple, to make it international, to make it understandable. Yeah? And it's starting here with COVID-19. So, yeah. And it started with a narrative. COVID-19, they told us, oh, it's a deadly infection. SARS-CoV-2 is a killer virus. It will kill a lot of people. Yeah. 2020, they said, oh, woo-hoo. But there were no dead bodies. Yeah. So it was, is it really a killer virus? This was a big question. Yeah. But to fuel this narrative, they need dead bodies, isn't it? They need dead bodies. But where? How? Yeah? Because even from now, we have no evidence that SARS-CoV-2 is a killer virus. It's an illusion. Wow. But how they did it? Yeah? So what they did, yeah, is then, like the chief medical officer of the United States was Dr. Fauci. Yeah? And Dr. Fauci told the world, in the US, they said, oh, well, we now say how to treat the people who has got a positive test. Yeah? Even young, more or less healthy men with ventilators. Yeah? Aggressive, yeah? Put them onto ventilators. Yeah? And I was working in A&E, in emergency, yeah? And after a few days, they will get a bacterial infection, yeah? And it will kill even healthy, great people, yeah? After a few days. It's known, but the doctors and the hospitals did it. Why they did it? Because they got money. And they was forced, oh, do it, with all the pressure. And they got money for this. Yeah, and they're very ashamed today because they know, yeah? And then Dr. Fauci said, okay, yeah, we have something else, yeah? We have now remdesivir, yeah? A very poison medication, yeah? Coming out. By the way, out of the chemical weapon industry, yeah? With phosphate, has the same structure like glyphosate and others. It's a mixture of this if you look at the chemical structure. And it's leading, because it's so poisoning, to dead people. Yeah? It's a therapy. And Fauci did this with AIDS. Again, with AZT. Yeah? And it's proven that AZT killed the people in the beginning with the AIDS campaign. And it was Fauci in the 80s. Yeah? They said, if you have got a positive AIDS test, by the way, PCR, yeah, you will not. And good people, doctors looking for a cure, and they have hydroxychloroquine, HCQ, yeah, to show, okay, the symptoms of something people had, yeah, even mild symptoms, you can cure with hydroxychloroquine, yeah, and it works. And he said, okay, yeah, we need to get it out, yeah, and they made studies versus remdesivir. But the trick is, they put a high dose of hydroxychloroquine, yeah, into this. And they made studies, they called Recovery and Solidarity, these studies, and it's all written, yeah, detailed in the book of Bobby Kennedy, the real Dr. Fauci. It's all written, yeah, how they did it. And the thing is, if you give a high dose of hydroxychloroquine, yeah, you will have problems with the heart, with your heart rhythm. It will make small strokes, yeah, because the flow of the blood is not like this, yeah. You have a brain fog, you will have small strokes, yeah, and you will have a heart arrest, yeah, and you die. This is how they killed hydroxychloroquine to say, well, it's more poisoning than remdesivir. So we go to remdesivir because hydroxychloroquine is killing the people. This was a trick. Yeah? But indeed, it was a high dose hydroxychloroquine. Yeah? Wow. So they did it. Yeah? This is very important to understand how they did it. Yeah? Okay, and it's much about, but hydroxychloroquine was still in the world. Yeah? As a therapy, if you give this in the right doses, yeah, you have very few problems, not at all. So, yeah, what they did, because a lot of people, yeah, tried hydroxychloroquine, yeah, and they had people in the resistance movement, yeah, to say, hey, yeah, use hydroxychloroquine, and even then, no, in the right doses. But these people had problems too. How? And I will explain this, and this is very, very new. Yeah? How this happened. Yeah? So, and I can tell you, so we had, as I said, it could, this kind of crime could, yeah, like this Great Reset, it could work or not, yeah. And for Plan B, if it could not work, they need to place people, and it's about the CIA, yeah. So was there the possibility that the CIA had a plan from the beginning, yeah, what they're doing from 2020 from on, because they know what will happen? Yes, of course. And what they did, yeah, they had Michael Callahan. Yeah, he's from the CIA. He's a bioweapon inspector, yeah, and he worked even in Russia, yeah, in the Soviet Union. Yeah, I will show this. And he called on the 4th of January 2020. He called a friend and said, "Well, I'm working in Wuhan, yeah, and in Wuhan, yeah, there is this virus, and let's make a study, a computer study." 4th January 2020, he called a friend. I will not reveal now who is a friend. I will just call him the Joker. Yeah, the Joker called, the Joker. And they made together a 20 million study, and they got the money from Mr. Fauci, from their common friend. So early, yeah? And out of this computer study, yeah, they investigated with a computer program what kind of medication could help against COVID-19. Wow, nice, great people, isn't it? Great people. From January 2020. And Dr. Fauci gave, yeah, here, 20 million to this. And the computer, yeah, then set out, yeah, a substance what was never used to treat lung disease, an infection, yeah, of the lung. And this is all recorded, yeah, in the book, The Real Dr. Fauci. In German, Das wahre Gesicht des Dr. Fauci. What I'm saying, that Michael Callahan, an employee of the CIA, yeah, was doing this. Yeah, you can read this up with his friend, yeah, and they made this study funded by this, yeah, and Michael Callahan is in the second book of Robert Kennedy as well, yeah, in German, The Wuhan-Verschwörung, yeah, this is the second book, and by the way, you saw, the Wuhan, you saw the cover, it was the Chinese flag, yeah, and this was Michael Callahan, yeah, you saw him. Yeah, because, and I will try to go back, Michael Callahan was in the 80s. He was in the Soviet Union sent by the CIA, and he made something like the Operation Paperclip. So the Soviet bioweapon scientist, he took over to the West. Yeah? Operation Paperclip 2.0. It was him. So you see here, is this English? No, it's not English. Yeah? Huh? It's Russian. This is Michael Callahan. Yeah? So all these bioweapons, like the Americans did before, with the Nazi scientists of Germany in the Second World War, after the Second World War, they transferred from Germany to the United States and hid them. Yeah? And they made atrocities, torturing the people in the concentration camps as well. Yeah? They saved it before. And Michael Callahan himself saved the bioweapon people, yeah? Like I described Ken Alibek in my first book before. It was him, yeah? who was so grateful to do this. Well, and the point is, yeah, is a substance, what came out of the AI, out of the computer. So please, don't ask the computer, don't ask ChatGPT or something, because someone programmed this. So please investigate by yourself, think by yourself, yeah? Don't, yeah? Don't rely on these results, yeah? It's very clear. But what they did, they relied on a computer program to see, oh, what we can do against COVID-19 so early. And this was Michael Callahan. So, and that's the very point. The question is, who is the Joker? Yeah? And I can tell you, so the Joker was working in the bioweapon industries for decades. He made a lot of money, he and his wife. Yeah? Lots of money he did before. And this Joker was presented to us as a man with us. So as a freedom fighter. Give us enlightenment. And this was the same man. Yeah? And I said this, that this man was working for Emergent Biosolutions, former called Bioport, with their joint venture, Dyneport Vaccine. And now, so this is what was coming out of the program. So famotidine. Perhaps you heard about it, perhaps not, yeah? But this is, out of this study came the medication famotidine, and it's used today as well. And this is a a medication over the counter for your stomach. Yeah, if you have heartburn, yeah, you take this. It's for scientists, it's an H2 blocker, yeah, antagonist. So it has nothing to do with lungs. It's about, yeah, stomach. And this is out. And this was what? Yeah? And famotidine is in the same class like ranitidine or cimetidine. Yeah? Perhaps you heard about it, or you took it before if you have heartburn. Yeah? So, but the thing is, yeah, they said, oh, you need to use it in high dose. Again, HD, high dose. And it's very odd why high dose? Because if you look at the scientific papers, and I did this, so the tip to use high dose was coming from a special institute. And I will reveal in the end what institute it was. Yeah? But I can show this in the papers. From who said you should use here famotidine high dose. And I said this after this. So the special thing with famotidine is it's affecting the liver enzymes. Yeah, and in the liver enzymes, it's special. It's a cytochrome P45 system. This is now very scientific, but most of the doctors and scientists know about it. Yeah, so it's affecting the clearance of the liver. Yeah, so if you drink alcohol, it's your liver who clean up the poison. Yeah, and a lot of other poisons like medication. No? Lots of medication. Yeah, fat-based medication especially are cleared in the liver. Yeah? And hydroxychloroquine is something, a medication what is cleared up by the liver, by the liver. And if you take this famotidine in high dose, yeah, there's a high probability that you have a blocking of the clearance of hydroxychloroquine in your blood. Yeah? And yeah, I will reveal after this who gave the tip to use famotidine in a high dose. Yeah? So if you take hydroxychloroquine, for instance, in a normal dose, nothing will happen. Yeah? You will have COVID-19 symptoms will be okay, yeah, and this is fine. But famotidine was given high dose, and then, like a miracle, you saw the treatment of, let's say, normal doctors, yeah, was use hydroxychloroquine in combination with famotidine. Yeah. And you can look this up in the truth movement, yeah? So the people, if they have something, yeah? There are a lot of people who are even in Stockholm and in Copenhagen on the stage, clutch, clutch, people who we admired, and they say, hey, you need to use hydroxychloroquine with famotidine. Hydroxychloroquine this time in a normal dose, yeah, because we know, yeah, high dose is deadly, could be deadly. Fauci made the tricks, yeah. We say, no, take a normal dose of this. And you will say, okay, oh, that's a good doctor, must be a good doctor, yeah. But recommended to take it, yeah, together with famotidine. Why? Yeah, because of this study. Of the study of Michael Callahan and the Joker, initially. Yeah? Okay, and this was in. So a combination of this. And that's a very point. And up to this day, this is used all over the world. Yeah?
Not India. Not India. They use ivermectin in India.
Yeah, of course ivermectin is used as well, but even in India, they use this. Still.
Both medicine need prescription in all countries, or you can buy it?
It depends. Yeah, you can buy it over the counter in a lot of countries. Yeah, in Germany you need prescription for this. Yeah, so especially it's I would say very famous in the United States and like other big countries. Yeah, this combination, and it's a question. So okay, if you use this, what is famotidine doing? So next time I would be able to cut the video and to do it. So, and that's the point. Famotidine in high dose is blocking the clearance in a human body of the hydroxychloroquine. So the level in your blood is going up because, yeah, It's not cleared by the liver, and your blood level is going up from hydroxychloroquine. So there are two ways, yeah, to get an overdose from hydroxychloroquine. First, yeah, you take a lot every day, yeah, like Fauci recommended in the studies Recovery and Solidarity, yeah, killing the people with this. But on the other way, yeah, if you have, yeah, if you don't can erase, yeah, the hydroxychloroquine in your bloodstream because the liver is blocked, yeah, you get a high dose in your blood from hydroxychloroquine. And we learned before what this is doing. It's doing problems with the heart rhythm, and it's going to cardiac arrest. So what I'm trying to tell is, this is in line with the ventilators, this is in line with the remdesivir, this is in line with their studies, high-dose hydroxychloroquine, and this way, via famotidine, is doing, yeah, the same way, the same pathway, leading to dead people. And this is the first time, yeah, this is revealed now, to my knowledge. The very first time. And the people who did the study, yeah, who introduced famotidine, had never give all the safety data to put this into this combination. Yeah, it's known if you put all the puzzle pieces together. Yeah, and this is what I'm trying to do, to put the puzzle pieces together. It was known, and if you give this to a lot of patients, yeah, even give it out, yeah, worldwide, it's your duty for a medical doctor, yeah, and the study people to have these safety data that famotidine, high dose, yeah, is not deadly. You see? That's the point. And the question is, yeah, who's the joker? And I said before, the joker is the same person who worked in the bioweapon industry, who worked for DynCorp vaccine as a director of research, and these the companies behind DynPort vaccine is Bioport, now Emergent Biosolutions, and DynCorp. And DynCorp is a weapon maker. Yeah. So it's the same man who did this with Michael Callahan together. And if, in a few seconds, yeah, so I was asked then two things. Yeah. So first, who was the institute who said you should give famotidine in high dose? Because this was the trick. And it's a Cold Spring Harbor lab. And if you never heard about Cold Spring Harbor, look it up. Even books were written on it. This is the eugenics side of the United States. Yeah, the original institute was funded and established in 1913 by the Harriman family, by Andrew Carnegie and the Rockefellers. And they were about eugenics and saying, oh, we need to have population control. Yeah? We need to reduce the population and have a look at. And Mr. Davenport, the first director, said, and it's all on record, he said, well, normal families should not be allowed to have as much children as they want. It should be controlled. And as you know, they killed a lot of people, sterilization, even unborn lives, yeah? Lots and lots and lots. And this is Cold Spring Harbor. Yeah? And if you look into the scientific papers, yeah, so how Michael Callahan, yeah, and the Joker, how they came across, yeah, that you should use it in high dose with the famotidine, it was out of these Cold Spring Harbor lab. Yeah? That's the one chilling point. And now I was asked in the second, last but not least, and he asked me, okay, last question, who's the joker? And I can tell you, you know the joker. And that's a big point. And most of the stories I said are written in the books of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. himself. Yeah? And it could be astonishing, but an old trick from the Secret Service is, if you want to hide a diamond, what you're doing? You put it into the lights, into the chrome luster, into the crystal light. Put it where everybody can see the diamond. Put it, hiding it in the open space. You're asking, who's the joker? Robert Malone. It's the Robert Malone.
How do you know? If I may ask, have you?
It's public. I know it because it's written already that he did it with Michael Callahan. It's written in a book, in the first book, The Real Dr. Fauci by Kennedy. Oh. Contribution, Robert Malone himself. The trick is, they told it the world, but they never told the puzzle. Because they couldn't hide it, because it was public. It was a scientific paper out of the research. What? Malone got a call on the 4th of January 2020 from Michael Callahan, and who the fuck is Michael Callahan? Got all the pieces together. If you read both books over the years and had additional information, what I gave you here, said what? And it's a computer study, and this is how famotidine was coming, and now the alternative treatment, the freedom treatment of COVID-19 is what? HCQ, hydroxychloroquine, plus famotidine in high dose. And if you look about the scientific data, you will find, famotidine is less affecting the liver enzymes like ranitidine and cimetidine, but not in high dose. They never published this in high dose. It's the same trick, And they never published the safety data. And now, today, every day, now from moving on, the people are still killed. It's like the ventilators will operate today as well, here in Malmö Hospital. Also, think of that the ventilators are going on. And this is now going on every day. So this is so important that we translate this into other languages. And I will invite all scientific people, all medical doctors, scientists in the world to debate this, to put it on a plate. And ask a very important question, Mr. Malone, Mr. Callahan, and all the other people, I will not name the names now, who put this combination, HCQ and famotidine, why you never published the safety data? On this combination. Because it's known that hydroxychloroquine, in high dose, is very deadly. In fact, it was used by the eugenics movement to kill people. To give them a nice death. Wow, this is going on. And this is Robert Malone. And what Robert Malone now today is doing, if you didn't got it, so a few weeks ago he was in Europe, he was in Brussels, himself. And they made a conference to set up a new movement. Make Europe healthy again. Yeah? Make Europe healthy again. Star guest Robert Malone, giving interviews, was there. Yeah? Supported by Dr. Assam Malhotra from the United States, from UK. This Malhotra, who was guest in the BBC in February 2021, sitting there, telling the whole nation with the best morning show, and telling them in February 2021, take the vaccine. Yeah? Take the vaccine. And Malhotra is now in the board of Make Europe Healthy Again. Yeah? And I told a lot of details before in this interview, because it was Malhotra who introduced Dr. Stephen Hadfield and Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon is the chief ideologist from Mr. Trump. And Steve Bannon said publicly, take down the CCP, take down the Communist Party of China. He wants war with China. That's a thing. And guess what? And I never said this before because I forgot these detail to tell in this interview, and it's very, very important. Because Steve Bannon and Stephen Hadfield, who was claimed by Malhotra that Stephen Hadfield is the chief medical officer of Bobby Kennedy Jr. The chief medical officer. Oh, wow, Malhotra said. And I will go back to Malhotra just a second. Pardon. Because Malhotra gave, last time ago, he gave a speech in Britain on a party assembly from the Reform UK party, from Nigel Farage. Wow, another savior. And say, please vote for Nigel Farage. He said to the audience, big stage, And then he said in his short time, he displayed, a picture of Steve Bannon and Stephen Hadfield. And he said, and even in writing, he said, oh, he's the chief medical officer of the HHS, of the Department of Health of the United States. He's the one, and he's good because he's criticizing COVID-19. Oh, wow, what a message. Criticizing, great. He displayed this and lifted up Stephen Hadfield. But what he not said was Stephen Hadfield and Steve Bannon did another interview together in early 2020. And it was Stephen Hadfield, I think it was in January 2020 as well, who said on the Steve Bannon show, War Room, said, well, this COVID-19 is very deadly, So, and it's a bioweapon out of China, And we need to treat this. So we will need 400% more intensive care beds. And we will need 400% more ventilators, said Stephen Hadfield. And he blamed China. So Stephen Hadfield knew what will happen months after this, that we will need ventilators. Was never used with coronavirus infections like this before on a massive scale. And this happened. So he knew about this. All the narrative, and this is what I tried to explain, all the narrative was set before. was parallel set before, if you look this up, yeah, from the beginning of 2020. With the study, Malone and Callahan, with Stephen Hadfield and Steve Bannon, yeah, the whole story going to a lab leak, yeah, going to versus China, that's the point. And I will close with this, yeah. So what we see is that we in the West, we in the movement, yeah, we should give all our blame to China and to go with war to China. And think of what happened with Russia. Yeah? Over all the years before, was always blamed Russia, Russia, Russia. Yeah? No provocation in Ukraine, no, not at all. Yeah? No CIA in Maidan 2014. Yeah? No, fuck the EU. Yeah? And Victoria Nuland. No, this never happened. Yeah? It was all by chance, it was all Russia, it's all Putin. Yeah? And now we hate Putin, especially in Sweden, yeah? And we are giving all the weapons, yeah? And we need to raise the military, yeah? Wow. And you cannot imagine that this will happen to China, isn't it? No. And how you can, yeah, steer up the warmongering to China with Taiwan, with the island of Formosa? Well, they tried, but if we are honest, we are Europeans, we don't care about Taiwan because it's too far away. Even if this would be right, nobody would care about it. Yeah? And go with war with China. But the thing is, yeah, with COVID-19, and this is written now on the lab leak, yeah, in a Hollywood style with Donald Trump. Yeah? With COVID-19, it was China, it was the CCP, yeah, who tried to kill our people, who tried to kill our babies, who tricked us. Yeah? 10% less population. Wow. You will see in the media, yeah, when they do it in this way, and it was China, it was the CCP. Yeah? And they tricked us. In the beginning, yeah, they made it very hard in China, and then they stopped and said, oh no, here's no COVID more, we have it. Yeah? We have it under control. But in the West, yeah, there was a harsh thing. And the thing, this is a point. So we as a peace movement and so, yeah, we should be the useful idiots. And Stephen Hadfield, yeah, was going around Europe from one freedom event to the next freedom event, and Robert Malone himself as well. And I was sitting, yeah, next to him in Stockholm in the January 2023, yeah, where Sasha Latipova was telling the world, hey, COVID-19, yeah, was a military action. Yeah, it was run by the military. It was not in the military. It wasn't Pfizer who invented this. It was the Pentagon who asked for a military prototype, and they used, yeah, a special calling for a military prototype. Yeah, with no regulations, no studies, yeah, no legal follow-up out of this. You can just give this. And this is what they did. And Kennedy, after this, said this as well. And there is an
appointment
yeah,
9 p.m.
fine.
Thank you
Okay.
for this time.
I will, yeah. And I will close in a minute. And that's the point. And it was Sasha Latipova, very good person, who said this in Stockholm in January 2023. And I was there. So Robert Malone in person was there with Jill Glasgow Malone, of course. They're always together. Yeah? They were there. And it's Robert Malone who is the expert and who used this kind of OTA, yeah, before. It was him. But he never revealed this to the world. And if you listen to all his statements before, he was always telling something what is very on the surface. Everybody else told this. But he got all the reputation. He was on the Joe Rogan show. This was the beginning. Joe Rogan is what? Spotify. Sweden. Hello. This is oligarchic. Yeah? Hello. Yeah? And he was lifted up all the time. Yeah? And he was not telling the world in January 2020, or when Sasha Latypova said this, yeah? Yeah, to the world. Hey, it's a military prototype what they're doing. It's a show what Pfizer and the Pentagon is doing. Yeah? And the first time Robert Malone said, okay, it's a military prototype, they did it, was in December 2024. So nearly 2 years after this first time. And you can read all this up at the Substack on Sasha Latypova. But this very smoking gun, is the famotidine study. It's a study with Callahan. That's a scientific evidence, nobody can deny. And this is what I want, that we as a scientific community and all good people in the world, we debate this, to do this. And it's so important. So thank you very much for the patience. Thank you very much for this second part, which is of course very improved like this. So we will close the second part, and I'm here free to answer your questions now. Thank you very much indeed. And thanks for the recording. This is